we're going to talk about your start of your driving test, and it's quite important to start your driving test because silly little things can happen. You've done all your preparation, you've drove into the test centre or wherever the test is taking place, and you're kind of focused at that point and you think everything's going fine, and the examiner comes out, introduces himself to you, you check the ID and you sign to say that's who you are. And at that point it becomes real, doesn't it? The moment you've been waiting for the last month or 2 or 6 months or even a year or 2, depends on what it's like at the moment, is there, isn't it? And that's that reality of it's here, I've got to do my best, I've got to pass. It can cause you to do all sorts of silly little things like get nervous and shaky or do something rash that you wouldn't normally do, and it's up to you at this point to stay focused, because if you don't, that first 5 minutes will be gone, and before you know it, you're back at the test centre, you've done a silly series. So what can you do to stay focused? Remind yourself. So remind yourself about what you've been doing. So you've been practicing with your instructor, right? Okay, then I know they're going to start the car. He's going to ask me to start the car in the next minute or so, and I'm going to be driving off. Now I might even get a manoeuvre in the first minute, so you're prepared for that. Or it might be when I come out of test centre, I'm going to come to a really busy roundabout where I've got to stay focused. Because the last thing I want to do is chance it and take a silly risk, and the examiner puts a foot on the brake and stops me. Because if that happens, then I know within the next 5 minutes I'm going to be back at the test centre, and I've got a serious or even a dangerous, depending on the situation what crops up, for being a bit rash. So if you ease into that test, that's what you've got to say. I don't have to rush to do things. I've got to be sensible. I've got to be a careful driver, because that's what I've been doing on my lessons. I've been taught by my instructor to be a good, safe, sensible driver. And that's what I've got to do. So when I set off, when the examiner says, right, start the engine when you're ready, and then you start driving off, then you've got to be remembering what you've been doing. Okay, I'm right. Okay, I'm going to look round, make sure it's safe, and I'm moving off. I'm going to come to the first junction. The examiner's told me what to do. Right, I'm going left. Check my mirrors. Signal. I can't really see. I'm slowing down to play it safe. All right. Now, I'm not saying to you drive like a granny, because that might be the wrong thing to do. If you can see clearly, and carry on, drive at the appropriate speed. If you come to a junction you can definitely see to your right and left, then fine. If you can't see, then slow down to give way. If you come to a busy junction or a busy roundabout and you can't get out, this is where, if in the first few minutes, it will affect you. So if you can't get out in the first 2-3 minutes because it's packed, you can't get out. Simple as that. I can tell you a story actually if it helps you. A couple of years ago on the driving test, I had a student, and I can't remember if they were after for the test or in the first few minutes, and they're emerging right, and it was a busy junction. And the waiting, it must have been for, I think the examiner said about 3-4 minutes of waiting. They couldn't get out. It was just packed. And in the end, there was an half cap coming, and the student pulled out. And as he pulled out, that car's got quite close to slow right down behind him. And obviously the examiner's given him a serious at that point. Got back to test centre. The examiner said, "Why did you go? Why did you pull out then? You've been waiting for 3-4 minutes." And the student says, "Well, I thought if I wait any longer, I'm going to fail." But you couldn't go. That's why you're waiting. So if you'd have waited a little bit longer, gap might have turned up. So that's what you've got to remember is, don't take risks. If you can't go, you can't go. But if you can go, then go safely. All right? And that's what you've got to remember in the first few minutes is don't take risks. Because if you do, it could be the shortest test you've ever done. Okay? Good luck. And if you do make a mistake, by the way, don't let it put you off. It's gone. Let it go behind you and concentrate on what you're going to do now. Good luck on the driving test. I hope this bit of advice helps you. If it does, give it the thumbs up, and watch on my next video next week.